There are some things in our life that we try to hide. When I was 10, I had something happen to me that I didn't see happening, didn't see coming. It came unexpectedly. And I tried hiding it because I felt embarrassed. I tried hiding it from my family, my friends, my teachers, particularly, especially when it was going to be getting time to change into my PE kit, because I knew that then it would be seen. And I can already hear the question in your head going, gosh, what was it? Well, it was a third nipple. I don't know why I was blessed with 3. I mean, most people have got 2, but I've got 3, and that's okay. Now, thankfully for me, my third nipple didn't cause me too much damage in my emotional sense. But I wonder if there's things in your life today that you're struggling with behind closed doors. Perhaps it's the struggle of a sexual orientation. Perhaps it's self-harm. Perhaps it's an eating disorder or an addiction. So the danger is, I think, that as we continue to form our identity, we allow the fear of stigmatization and embarrassment to suffocate us as we suffer in silence. And then we just begin to allow those secret things to define us. And before we know it, they're a label to us, and we walk in their identity for us as human beings. But I believe there's something different. That actually Jesus has compassion for those places. Compassion for the very places that cause us to feel stigmatized. See, in the Gospel of Mark, there's this great story of Jesus and a guy with leprosy. And it reads this. A leper came to Jesus begging on his knees. If you want to, you can cleanse me. And so deeply moved by his compassion, Jesus put out his hand, touched the leper, and instantly the leprosy was gone and his skin was smooth and healthy. And what we have to understand here is that at the time of Jesus, people with leprosy, which was like a really extreme form of eczema, was stigmatized by the society. They weren't allowed even to live within the city. And at the time, there was no NHS, there was no Sudocrem, there was no E45 to soothe the pain. And so they had to live within this stigmatization. But this leper saw something in Jesus that was different. And so rather than hiding behind the closed doors of his life, living with this problem, he decides to be brave and to encounter Jesus, to step into where Jesus was. And the remarkable thing that was, if someone touched someone with leprosy, they themselves became unclean. But here, Jesus reaches out and heals him, and Jesus isn't affected. Perhaps today you might be someone who is struggling with something behind closed doors. That you're struggling with this sense of identity because you feel that you're stigmatized or thought less of because of this problem that you have. But I just want to say to you, if that is you, to have the bravery of what the leper had, to move towards Jesus and to ask him for help. For God's compassion is limitless. He doesn't stigmatize, but instead, he meets us in our pain. But here's the challenge that I also want to think about. Within here, there is a challenge for us, I think. See, Jesus was moved by his compassion to those on the margins of society. In this case, the guy with leprosy. Which begs me to ask the question, who is it then, as followers of Jesus, as apprentices to him, who are we moving towards that are on the margins of society? So why don't you think about that today? Think about those people in school who are pushed to the edges, that aren't necessarily the popular kids. How might you today show them love? How might you today show them support?